Welcome back to another episode of You Want It Broken, I'll Fix It. I'm your host, Anthony. Today's patient is a 2022 CX-5 Mazda with a check engine light. Got my scanner right here. Let's see what it is. We got our laptop and our scanner. This part's going to go into the OBD2 port right down here. Feeling around for it. Plug it in. Then this part's going to go into the USB. Alright, now that we're in MDARS, we're going to scan. I'm pretty sure I know what this is in for. But let's see. It's just searching for the vehicle now. Alright, we're in the code reading screen. We got codes in the PCM, ABS, SBS, MRCC, SSU, HUD, and TCU. So we're going to go over and see what the codes are. Wow. Okay, so this is passed. We don't need to worry about that. Current battery voltage, battery is low. Battery low, battery low. The check engine light is on, though, for this code right here. The PCM. P0126. Coolant control valve. That's exactly what I thought. If you have a P0126 code in any Mazda, that's going to be your coolant control valve. Now what you're going to do is you're going to set the car up on the lift. I memorized what my lift points are on this thing, so I don't need to go underneath. Pop the hood. Once it's all set up and you know it's safe, raise the car. After you get your parts and your coolant, and come back to the car and take off this undercover and this undercover. These two are, this undercover towards the back is held in by 10s and clips. This one's held in by 8mm and clips. So you're going to take those two off. After, you're going to get your coolant drain. You're going to drain the coolant. There's a little knob right here that you turn. It's a little bleeder valve. Don't let that drain. Some people take it out all the way. I don't. I'm gonna let it drain from there, and then I'm gonna take off this hose here and let it drain from there also. Alright, this thing's taking forever to drain, so I'm just gonna also unhook that hose clamp with this tool. Then you just pull off the hose and let it drain. After it drains, you hook it back up. Alright, so we do gotta make a couple things disappear from here. We gotta take this off. We gotta take this and the intake box off. The battery's gotta come out. And the PCM control module has gotta come out. The coolant control valve is right down in here. I'll show you guys when I take it out. So 1, 2, 3. Now that we got the PCM disconnected, the battery disconnected, the intake box out of the way, and the intake hose out of the way. Next thing we're going to do, loosen all these bolts right here, take the actual PCM out, and the battery out, and then the battery tray. Now that we got the battery tray out, you can see the coolant control valve a lot better. It's this thing right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off this coolant hose, this connector, this coolant hose in the back, and this coolant hose here, and then there's another connector hidden. Then you got 3 bolts like this. One in the front and then one in the back. Those got to come out also. Alright, so I got the first 2 off of those screws. There's one there, one underneath there. The one in the back is kind of hard, and I actually used the video camera to find it, because it is a pain. Alright, now it's time to replace the actual valve. So what fails on these things is this. This is the actual valve. This tiny little thing. You're gonna take this apart and replace that valve. I'll show you where that valve goes. That valve goes in here. So you're gonna take this off with these Torx bits. Save the screws. You're replacing this, so this goes in the garbage. Pull out the old valve, garbage. Open the new valve. It'll only go in one way. Stick it in. Grab the new piece. Line up the correct holes. Put in the screws by hand a little bit. Love the taste of coolant. And send them home. Done. There is one more thing you do have to replace, and this is gasket. Take out the old one, throw it out, put in the new one. Now that's seated, now it's time to put everything back together. Now that we have everything back together, besides the cover, it is time to bleed the coolant system. So I'm gonna put my no spill funnel on here, pour the coolant in, start the car, let it run. Now we're gonna take our coolant and pour it in. I'm gonna pour it in until it stops taking any coolant. Then you're gonna start the car. You're gonna get in the car, you're gonna start it. You're gonna make sure the heat is on all the way up. Turn it all the way up. Fan, full speed, recirc. See it bubbling over there? That's exactly what we wanted to do. Now you're gonna do this for a little bit. And then after that, you take it for a test drive to make sure it doesn't overheat.